Okay. Good morning, everyone. I have to apologize for my voice. Something's happened since coming here, but let's get on with the show. A young student scrolls through their social media. They watch the television flicking between screens. They look at the newspapers. If any of you know what a newspaper is, that's these, big printed things, the sheets of paper that sometimes tell you about what's going on in the world. And when you look at what's going on in the world out there, you see environmental destruction, you see climate change, you see pollution, you see conflict, you see poverty, you see injustice. It all seems somewhat overwhelming, and you think to yourself, what can I, as one person, do about all these problems in the world? Well, I'm here to tell you and to convince you that you as one person can do something about all these problems in the world, that you have it within you, you have it as your potential, and some of the things that you learn in this very school will make the difference on that front. Ideating for the future is a fantastic topic, but it puts a real pressure on you because you are the future. The future is in your hands, and how do you live up to that responsibility? Can you make a difference as one person? Well, let me tell you a little bit about my story. So once upon a time, I was studying. I had no real idea what I wanted to do in life, and I thought if you have no idea what to do in life, you might as well make some money. Money seems like a nice thing. So I decided to become a banker. And back then, bankers were, somewhat fashionable. I think these days, maybe in India it's different, but in London, if you say you're a banker, people sort of say it a little bit under their breath. The reputation is not so good because we know it's not all about doing some good for wider society. But I wasn't questioning that, and I spent years learning about finance and trying to make more money for the corporation until I realized that that wasn't my purpose, that actually doing something for society might be much more important. So I went on some kind of mystical quest, and I decided, I could do something with this. I could become a banker for the poor. And banking for the poor is sometimes called microfinance, which sounds a lot more boring. But the idea is simple, that by lending money to people from poorer backgrounds, you can help them to actually build a business and grow money. So I went off to South America on my quest, and I started doing microfinance. And as I looked around, what I saw was that actually money itself wasn't just sometimes the answer. You can lend people money, you can give people money, but that by itself doesn't necessarily generate more money. There was something missing. And that something missing was the difference between the idea that you can just give someone a fish and they might eat for a day, and the idea that you might give them the skills so they can learn how to fish and they could eat for a lifetime. The skills required to support yourself make the difference between you being able to fulfill some of your potential to take care of yourselves and others and not. So when I was thinking about, well, how can I take this kind of idea forward, I was drawn on that and created TEDxMountAbuSchool, and that's the organization that I run today. What we do is empower people with the skills, the entrepreneurial mindset, and the vision, motivation, confidence that they can make a difference in their own lives. That if they have the opportunity to access resources, they can then find a way to feed themselves, to feed their families, the housing costs, the insurance, the communication, access to the internet, all these possibilities for providing their basic needs. But more than that, for education, for themselves, for their children, so they can stay in education longer. Because education offers opportunities. Education opens doors to you realizing your potential. But education by itself is sometimes not enough, or certainly a very traditional form of education. We've easily fallen into the habit of thinking that just because in the past knowledge was what it was all about, that knowledge is what's needed exclusively for the future. Knowledge has its place, but nowadays it's less about what you know, because you can hold the whole world of human knowledge in your pocket on your phone. So if it's in your pocket, you're the same as everyone else. The question is, what can you do? And beyond that, the question is not just what can you do, because when you come to looking at your futures and trying to get investment for your business, or trying to get that job, or trying to get into college, people are not just interested in what can you do, but what have you done? What can you show that you've done? Some concrete experience. And this is part of what Teach a Man to Fish is about, is giving you this opportunity to get this kind of concrete experience. Over the years, we've managed to help a lot of young people. We've managed to help now more than 500,000. That's 500,000 young lives impacted, changed in some small ways. And we never quite know how, because the power of an idea means that something that you hear today, whether from us, whether from your teachers when you're in our classes, whether it's from other speakers, that can come back to you later in life and be the source of motivation for doing something greater. So, let me maybe give you an example of just some of the change that it's created for young people with our programs. So our main program, the School Enterprise Challenge, which thanks to the inspirational leadership of your principal here and the commitment and dedication of your teachers, many of you will get a chance to work on, provides you a concrete opportunity to work together to start a business, to start not just any kind of business, but a kind of socially responsible business, a business that can start to maybe tackle some of those problems that we saw, whether it's around environmental sustainability or pollution, or many of the things that are being faced in society. Working together with your colleagues, you will learn how to the practical aspects of running a business, things like learning to sell, which is partly about selling yourself, learning how to do marketing, learning how to do accounting, some of the things that seem somewhat tedious, but in later life can open up new possibilities for you. And when you learn all these things and you learn how to confront obstacles, you learn how to confront challenges, and you build a vision of your future, then you are much better positioned for the things that life will throw at you. So Naomi, who is here, is a young girl in Nicaragua, because we work in 130 countries. Her family had a terrible situation, unfortunately. Her father died unexpectedly. And what that meant, as he was the main breadwinner in the family, was that her mother was going to have to bring income in. And her mother knew no better ideas than going off to a town far away to work and to send money home. This would then split up the family that had already been traumatized by the loss of the father. But Naomi took what she had learnt in her School Enterprise Challenge business and decided to try and apply it at home. She worked with her mother to come up with a concept for a catering business, Naomi's Fritangas, and they started it small and they grew it over time. And what it meant was that ultimately the family had enough income that they wouldn't have to be split up. Her mother could stay there, they could stay together as a family, and they could try and heal together. So that's the obstacles, but then there's the looking at the positive challenges if you have a vision. So Joshua here is from our work in northern Uganda. It's a place which is, I don't know, maybe like the equivalent of Rajasthan or something. It's very dispersed kind of population with an awful lot of poverty. But this guy was a genius when it came to coding, and the opportunities for coding were all in the big city, which was a long way away. But he took what we'd shown him and took the idea that maybe entrepreneurship could create new opportunities where he was based. So he started his own online business, something like Amazon or Flipkart, because for poorer people in remote villages, actually it cost them a lot of time and money to get to a place where they could buy the things that they needed. But if these things could be delivered efficiently to them and delivered through placing orders on the internet, then he could solve a real problem in their lives and in the process create opportunities for himself. So within the space of a year, he was employing 20 other people in a region that suffers greatly from lack of jobs, creating wealth, creating opportunity for himself, and fulfilling more of his potential. These are some examples from our work internationally, because I think sometimes it's nice to show you what's going on in other parts of the world. But I was surprised, myself and my colleague Sally were just visiting schools last week in Mumbai and hearing very similar stories. A girl there whose father, in that case, was just ill, but the family were finding it hard to generate enough income to keep her in school. She was part of coming up with a business concept with the family and supporting her mother to put in place an income-generating initiative so that she could stay in school. Similarly, there were a couple of young boys approached us at the end of a presentation with some great business concept. There was a type of product really valuable in the local market, but which was liquid and would have a limited shelf life. They came up with an approach that turned it into a powder which would be cheaper and last longer, and were super excited about the possibilities for scaling this. These things are possible, and all of you can do them. So when your teachers are giving you the talk about why you should take part in the School Enterprise Challenge, I want you to scream yes to them. Yes, loud enough that we can hear it from London, because this is going to be a wonderful opportunity for all of you to start developing some of these skills that can help you today and can help you in the future. So when you're next scrolling through your social media, looking at the scenes of despair, looking at the challenges of the world, I want you to take what you'll learn in those classes and apply an entrepreneurial mindset to it. The entrepreneurial mindset says, these are not problems, these are opportunities. Actually, this is a world of problems that need fixing. This is a world of problems that need fixing that I can be part of. This is a world of needs fixing where an idea may be great, but action is what's needed. And through what I have learned at school and through the School Enterprise Challenge, I have learned how to take an idea through business planning into action. And that action can be the thing that changes the world. No one individual is too small. One individual can make a difference. One individual will make a difference in your case, I'm sure, and the world needs that one individual to make a difference. So please make a commitment to making the world a little bit brighter than when you found it. And thank you all today for listening to this talk. Thank you.